Welcome to the Monstrous Musings Podcast, where a couple monkeys consider the characteristics of creatures and cryptids from pop culture. I'm Andrew, and I'm also joined by...
Brandon. Hey, how's it going? That's me. Talking in third person, yeah.
And...
whoa, it's me, Zach, as well. Wow, that's incredible.
And our returning guest, Mr. Jesse. Come on out here. Yeah, woo!
Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going?
Woo! A guest so nice, we had him twice. You know,
Hey, there we go.
I think that's the tagline for Bling Bling Boy, or is that something else? No, it's Moto Moto. I'm sorry.
What?
We're already in shambles.
That's like a deep reference.
Deep cut.
Big boy, that's incredible.
Yeah, thank you. I practiced all day. Anyway, we're back here, episode 7. We got another monster. If you'd believe it, we've actually covered more than 7 monsters.
Can't
See
be.
if you can solve that little riddle. Well, that's true. It's true. And I'm not going to explain it here.
Covered in like petroleum jelly or like
What? Who is? Me?
no, like we covered. You said we covered 7 monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy gets it.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Maybe in like a nice mink jacket. You know, maybe we covered them in that.
That's crazy because I think last time was King Kong.
Last time was
Can you
King
imagine
Kong.
covering
How
that
much petroleum
monstrosity?
jelly?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a lot of liters. That's a lot of gallons.
That's expensive. You know how much gas goes for these days, especially with the tax rate of the day. My God, oh man, we can't deal with that.
Oh, yeah, that's true. It would take a lot of jelly. And I have to say, it might take a fair amount of jelly for this week's monster. Well, sorry. Sorry, this episode's monster. We're not weekly yet, but probably more regular than the past 2 years. Cross your fingers.
If we strap Andrew down to a chair, get him to record maybe 15 episodes in a row, I think then we could. Good.
Yeah, it's true. Or we just do it live, which it would be easy to do because we never make mistakes. There's nothing that we ever take out of these.
Yeah.
Actually.
It's not like the Andrew's rat trap went off last time and Rat started screaming. He had to finish it off. It was like a whole ordeal. But, the power of editing, you never even knew.
Yeah, well, that was the problem, right? It was around April 1st, and Brandon thought it would be funny. We're like roommates, so he kind of actually hooked like a rat trap, too. It wasn't for mice. Right under my chair, and I just didn't notice. So by the time my my was caught, it was really it was over.
That's going to have to get cut out of the episode.
Oh,
I
I hate that.
I'll just put a monkey noise instead of... I'll put another one there. Leave it up to your imagination.
There you go.
Perhaps I'm like some sort of Fallout mutant and have a different... Anyway, rearranged body part. That's not worth it. Okay, maybe cut this whole thing. Anyway, we're back.
That goes in the Patreon extended extra.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. If you get a couple more viewers, we can have a Patreon. Anyway, I picked out a beautiful beast. It, in some ways, I'm leaving a breadcrumb trail here for the fellas in the recording booth with me. In some ways, harkens back to our roots of the podcast, while also being very pertinent to 2024. Specifically March. That might throw them off a little bit. Anyway, I don't want to spend too much more time. Does anybody want to take a little guess based off that? That could be a little fun. Maybe that'll be
I think I could. So I think, going back to the roots, it's about, like monkeys, okay? And March is like when all the high school kids and stuff go on March break. So what I think it is I think it's some sort of like shaved large ape like cryptid vacationing in Mykonos. That's what I think it is.
Okay, I really like that. I thought you were going to start describing in incredible detail a random chimp event, which I associate with the month of March. I get to why. That's good. So some sort of hairless chimp in Mykonos.
I suspect, considering episode 1 was the Nargacuga, as I've just verified facts.
Yeah.
I suspect then maybe another Monster Hunter related one if you're going to claim that it's going back to the roots of this, unless you really mean the roots of the channel, in which case maybe it's a monster from the Dead Rising series. That would be a deep cut.
Oh, somebody's done their homework. Oh, yeah, I like those. I like both those theories. What about our honorable guest, our coveted guest? Can we say that?
Our covered guest.
Jimmy, yeah,
Covered
our covered guest.
in petroleum
Jesse?
jelly.
My instinct is always to say your last name, but I won't. What do you guess? What do you guess?
Wow.
One wrong
put you on
guess,
the spot
Jesse,
there.
and you're off the potty. By the way.
God.
Yeah,
Maybe a chimpanzee.
just a straight up.
That's my guess. That's my guess. Good old classic chimpanzee.
I'll support you on that because a lot of people think it's cute. Some people think of Bubbles, Michael Jackson's chimp, and they're like look kind of harmless. But other people talk about them ripping your face and arms off. So if I was in the wild, I wouldn't want to be face to face with an aggressive chimpanzee. In
Right.
fact, probably not any chimpanzee. And
Right.
I think they're pretty smart. They have some nice EQ and such. But at the same time, you can't tell me they've never, removed body parts from,
Absolutely.
through history.
Absolutely. No, they definitely have that dog in them.
Oh yeah.
They've got that chimpanzee in them, and I just want to stay at a safe distance. Appreciate them from a distance.
Okay, so you've all locked in your guesses,
Yep, locked and loaded.
and I'm going to reveal it now and then share the slide deck. And by the magic of
I'm
editing,
so
you want
worried. I'm so tense as to what this could be.
I know. I'm rubbing my hands together. I don't know if you can hear that. If you can, it's like
Yeah, I
maybe
can't.
my mic
I
up.
think
Like
you
a
need
fly.
a little more. I think you need moisturizer. That sounded like sandpaper. That's great.
I'll put in sandpaper sound.
Grit
You won't know.
100.
The monster for this episode, connected to our roots, that is pertinent to pop culture, relating back to March especially, is, in fact,
Taylor Swift's private jet.
yeah, yes. Oh my god, yeah, dude. Oh, it's close. It also flies. Does this change anybody's thing? I'll
also
give you a speed
flies?
answer. It flies.
It's one of the monkeys from the Wizard of Oz. Like
Monkey.
flying.
Dude. Oh, that's so good. No, it is the Rathalos.
Ooh,
Ooh, Brandon, what's a Rathalos?
Brandon, you should know this. Did he ever
Oh.
get to that point?
I don't know if you did.
Sounds familiar, but they all kind of blend together. You know what I mean? It's like
Who are they?
if I saw it, I might recognize the monsters from Monster Hunter.
Okay, yeah.
Did you just English teacher me who are they when you talk about these people who say who these who?
I don't need to explain. We'll just also share the slide deck. Come on. We all know how this works. Anyway, so the Rathalos. Can anybody, and I'm going to have this image on screen at this point, can anybody tell me maybe why it's important, why I chose this creature? What's special about March 2024?
Is it the
20th
year of the
anniversary.
dragon?
Of Monster Hunter. That's right.
Oh.
So
Okay. Well, I guess.
Monster Hunter's actually about 18 years older than Brandon, but he's played a little bit of the newest game. Is that true? Can you verify that for us?
Yeah, I did actually. I played whatever the new one's called. I don't really remember. But
Brian,
I played it.
what weapon did you main in the new one? I forget.
I mained like a sword and shield.
Oh, okay.
He did. In fact.
Yes,
Classic.
I did. I verified that. I
So
pulled it up.
since the beginning of our podcast, we've all gained a little bit more experience with Monster Hunter. I would say Zach and I are fairly avid players, playing different entries. We can get into that. Jesse also has some experience. Jesse, what have you want to tell us a little
Absolutely. I love Monster Hunter. Great game. 10 on 10. I quite like the game.
Oh, that was it. If I read that review on Steam there, Jesse, I'd buy that game instantly.
That was a great ringside
Instant buy.
post interview with the Oilers or something.
We played hard. We played hard. We wanted it hard. We wanted the win, and we just we pulled through and we won.
Yeah. We got pucks in deep. Defense played a really good game today. And,
oh.
I think we just we went for it and we got it. We just got to keep this up for another 3 games and got a shot.
I love that.
And the guy's
so much.
chewing gum.
So the answer I was looking for was, my name is Jesse, and I played Monster Hunter Worlds. I played some Dual Blades. I played through part of low rank.
Yes.
That's what I was looking for.
Yes.
But that works too. Zach has played. Well, I won't speak for people. Who am I? Why don't you go next, Zach?
Yeah, I played Worlds and Rise. Although we didn't get all the way through Rise, we started as a little group. We started around, what was it, last Christmas?
Probably a year ago almost.
Was it a year ago? Like a Christmas or two ago? We all got our Christmas hats on, played through some Rise, and then we did we even get the high rank? No, we did. We must have. I forget.
Maybe a bit. Yeah, we gotta pick it up there. But yeah, Zach, you're also mostly a dual blade main. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, I in Monster Hunter World, the dual blade, great, fantastic. I love me a little bit of speed. I don't like you take the big hammer like Andrew enjoys. You hit one attack button and you can go make yourself like a little soup and like some biscuits by the time your like attack animation's done. My brain can't handle that. I need faster action. So yeah, enjoy the dual blades. And the bow in Rise. The bow's quite nice.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, myself, I played through low and high rank of Generations on the Switch. Generations Ultimate, that's right. Yeah. And World, I had another like exciting moment going through the grinding lands in World recently. But, fought my first Ogre in that game. No big deal. But yeah, Hammer, great sword a little bit once in a while. I'm not going to beat the hammer allegations, I guess. I think it's a beautiful weapon, though. And I played a lot of Rise on Switch, too.
I like the hammer allegations.
The DLC, too. Thank you. I think it's even funnier, probably, for Brandon. You don't even need to... What do you think, Brandon? Do I look like a hammer bane to you?
I don't know. Every time, if I were to imagine anything in Andrew's hand, any sort of weapon or tool, I think it'd be a hammer, I just him and Andrew has a long history with hammers. Him and a couple rats from the Atlantic provinces. Oh man, you should have seen it. I wish I didn't, but it's like a whole thing.
I definitely see Andrew wielding a club.
Yeah,
can I see him clubbing things left, right, and center.
I'd like to add to the fact that I forget what weapon Jesse's used, but the fact that the hammer and the sword and shield both perfectly characterize Andrew and Brandon as people is entirely 100% spot on.
I've made Paladin in any game that has any class that involves Paladin or some something like within that vicinity. So
some shape or form of
Brandon.
We each get like a signature class.
Yeah, Brandon exclusively plays Terran in StarCraft. He exclusively plays World of Warcraft characters in Heroes of the Storm. What else?
Human
he only plays Commando.
Heroes of the Storm. I used to play what's the one from StarCraft with the minigun?
Tychus.
Oh, yeah, Tychus. Yeah, there we go. I used to play.
Brandon only plays Commando and Risk of Rain. He has a character type that he enjoys and he sticks to it. By God,
he has a flavor.
I stick to it. Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm only mildly better at that class than the average player, so I think it's paid off.
I think so too. But yeah, anyway, so episode 7 for us is sort of an anniversary, right? I'm hoping to bring this into a more regular thing, get you some podcasts more than every 6 months to a year. I think that's doable.
Are you the type of guy to keep track of a 7th-month anniversary?
What? No, it's our 7th episode.
Oh.
Silly. Oh, silly. I would, though. Oh, come on. Yeah. Anyway, so that's some of our history with the Monster Hunter series. And I'm hoping to put a little bit of B-roll in here of us clobbering a beast. And the last thing I have to say about me being a hammer main is that, what can I say? I'm just, I meet people every day, and they're always stunned to see me.
That's deep.
Andrew sees a nail, he hammers it.
That's right.
He's just that straightforward of a guy. He sees a screw, he hammers it.
I see. Exactly. It's a bad day to be a rat in an Atlantic province, right?
It is.
It is. It's a really bad day.
It is.
No rodents were harmed in the making of this video, except for Brandon. He's a rat. Anyway, moving on. Let's jump into the Rathalos. So, before we jump in, I got a beautiful slide deck. I'm going to put a couple of these pictures up. Jesse, you've seen this before. I make a little Pinterest mood board of our monster.
Yes.
I have a couple talking points saved. What are your initial impressions off the first image?
Oh, wow.
The one of him clawing there.
The slide is just made beautifully. I gotta give it to you. This is the most beautiful slideshow I've ever seen.
Oh, thank you.
This is the highest production value slide I've ever seen. On this
yeah, it's got very, very simple text, an icon in the middle. You can't go wrong. You immediately know that the subject of this video is the Rathalos.
is
You can tell Andrew
the
when he
red
searched
square.
up the image, he made sure to look up, add the words "no background" and high res to the end of the search, and that's how we got these images.
Exactly. So I think they've actually used this pose, I guess, to make certain anniversary toys is a bad word, sculptures, figurines. They don't sell them with mason jars. I think that's extra. But yeah, so this amongst some of the more popular monsters are selling part of the anniversary. And this action pose really encapsulates a lot of what the Rathalos is and how it fights.
It's very it's very badass.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make a bold.
It's a very
claim right
cool
now.
pose.
I'll go crazy.
I'm not a fan of this pose. You know.
Okay.
No,
okay.
really?
Drop that bomb.
Yep. I don't know. It feels a bit disproportionate with like. I understand he has big wings, but it's like the wing is 90%, and because of how it's skewed, it's very difficult to like center it with other things. And the reason I bring this up is I forget in what context, but I was drawing a Rathalos at one point, and I was using this pose in particular. I think I was making a card or something for someone, and it's like with this pose, you can't place it anywhere on like a page without it being like awkward. I think you've
You
managed.
didn't have a red square zone.
Yeah, I think
that's what the
I'm
issue
realizing now the red square was the issue because you've done a masterclass in
thank you.
positioning here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got a bone to pick with this pose.
I see what you're saying. The wings are important, and we're going to get to that. For the Rathalos, the wings are very important for a couple different reasons. But are they that important that they need to be focused on so centrally? Perhaps not. I think
definitely in this pose. Sorry, if I might add, like it's clear that they're going for like that eagle or falcon like prey, right? Where like he's like catching his food and like devouring it type of thing. Like I think that's what they're going for, and the fact that the wings are in the center center subject of the image, definitely think that like adds to that entire theme.
Yeah, I agree. But I don't know, it just feels a little bit disproportionate for my liking.
Yeah,
It does feel like 2/3 of the screen is one wing.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It could only be like a wing can only be like so interesting. I don't think a wing is 2/3 interesting. It's probably more like a third interesting. I want to see those horns. I want to see those grippers, those nails. I want to see those nasty teeth. Like, show me the rest of him.
Exactly.
I think he's
Jesse
trying to flex. He's trying to flex his like full sleeve wing tattoo. I think that's what the answer is there.
That's what it is. He just went to the tattoo parlor. He wants to flex his new tattoo.
He finally upgraded from those like nylon tattoo sleeves you could buy in like the early 2000s to getting like an actual tattoo. So I think that's he's trying to showcase that. And when he went to the photo studio to have this photo taken, he insisted, and I think that's how we ended up with this.
He bought a new skin cosmetic.
When he had his bogus binted, is that what you said?
I think so exactly.
I have a question for you, Bren.
Okay, yeah, I'm all ears. I'm listening.
When you were riffing on the wing tattoo, was that for any particular reason, or was that just off the top of your head?
No, I mean I just saw like some marks on a wing, and it was
I like that because let's rip that open, if you will.
Like, do you clasp your fingers together as you're like saying this?
Yeah.
Like, adjust your clipboard.
Nobody can see me right now. I don't know, except God. I guess whoever must judge me.
And the rat.
But I'm emoting
and Andrew,
like crazy.
I think there's a reason. There's like a missing screw hole under the light switch behind your desk. Don't shine one of those IR things there.
Oh, jeez. But I do want to say that the Rathalos has wings with an ornate hat. The wiki, a lot of information came from the Monster Hunter wiki and our heads, but my head, I guess. But whatever these guys are waffling on about too. I think it was suggested, probably by the wiki. I'm not sure if this is for real, that the reason for that the wings are likely used to attract a mate. What do you think about that? How do you feel about these patterns?
Can I interject a real quick comment before we go
Absolutely.
into that? When you first said ornate pattern like that,
Yeah.
made me think of those Instagram videos where it's like some guy talking is like sock, and it like cuts to an image of a sock with like an echo in the background. Sock. This ornate pattern. Ornate pattern.
Oh, that really resonated through your soul.
Yeah, I think Andrew, you need to add an echo effect to using ornate pattern now.
I will. What do you think?
I'll jump in on that.
Yeah.
I could believe it. The one thing that kind of that strikes me as like a counterpoint to that is typically like mating patterns and like those mating attractive things, I forget what they're called, are a lot more like colorful and full body, whereas this is quite tame in comparison. I mean, it covers the entire wing, but it's a fairly dulled out color. It doesn't really encompass the entire wing. It's not like the underside of the wing is like bloodshot or something with like black piercing through it. So it could be, but I feel like
well, maybe all the girl dragons are just emo, and instead of going for colorful and bright patterns, they go for like dark, nasty, evil looking patterns.
Yeah, it's like the whole thing where it's like I watched a video on that everything nowadays is kind of converging to grayscale, basically. Like all the colors of like buildings and like interiors and cars and everything were just kind of losing color compared to like
the Rathalos.
Compared to like the 60s and so I think, you know, maybe that's just a sign of the times, you know, that this Rathalos is kind of like a washed out old paint color thing. Like, you know, if you look at him, not many, you know, he has some colors. You can see a little bit of red. Yeah, exactly. So I think this marks the decline. You know, maybe a 70s Rathalos would have been a little more colorful. Maybe would have had like some like Mardi Gras beads. Maybe it would have been like like nice burgundy and like crimson red. But you know, modern day Rathalos, they ain't what they used to be. Well, let me tell you, you know, you used to be able to get a Rathalos in lime green, but now it's just gray and like brown and like earthy tones. It's not for me. Not for me.
Well, I enjoy that. There's a lot to build on there.
a transparent lime green Rathalos where you can see the circuitry inside.
There we go.
Oh, there was no time like the 70s, truly. But yeah, I'm with you on that. I find that like some of those features, like you think of like a bird, right?
Bird.
The male
I think
birds,
about birds sometimes.
Yeah, the male birds that are trying to attract a female are often doing a really loud dance, you know, or have really loud patterns,
like
or a
the
really
samba.
loud call. Did you say like a salami?
Not like the samba, you know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you know. So this pattern, if this is what's attracting the mate, I don't totally buy it, but I'm wondering why it's there because it's really kind of beautiful. This first image doesn't sell it, but by the end of this, you'll see.
I wonder. I was gonna say that'd also be more because there's a bunch of animals in nature that have different patterns and stuff like that. Some of them are less like outwardly aggressive. Like why do you have think of like a spotted cat? Why they got the spots?
Right.
It's true.
Forgive me though. Normally when I see patterns in nature, it's very defensive. I might just not be looking at the right sample size. But whenever I see patterns, it's like big eyes to make it like a butterfly seem like an owl in the dark of night.
Exactly.
Or like a rattlesnake's tail mimicking like a spider to attract prey. I've never seen patterns being used in nature as a way to attract a mate. But
really?
I might be
peacock.
wrong, and I might just not be looking at a large enough sample size.
Jesse
the peacock.
Yeah, exactly.
What was I thinking?
Or like
Cool.
or like the red butt of like a baboon or whatever.
Sorry, I'm living under a rock.
The red butt of a baboon is certainly aggressive. But Jesse, I'll give you a point for the nautilus,
Counterpoint?
which has actually made an appearance on the Monkey Business channel more than once, because it has a beautiful
Like
shell.
the ship.
And that's kind of that's kind of defensive. No, it's like a cephalopod, Brendan.
Yeah, no, I know.
Okay.
I was just interjecting because I'm like, I feel like
I kind of know butted when you needed a yes
called,
and. My bad.
Finger
was,
up like nerd emoji.
for improv jargon. Nerd emoji.
It's actually Captain Nemo that had the Nautilus, which was like a submarine.
Oh, over you. Yeah. Oh, I see. Okay.
I know a thing or two. I know
He does.
yeah.
He does.
I mean, I didn't Google that just now. Like, I happen to know that. Okay.
Okay, good. So before we talk about how this fellow looks, maybe it would help if I get a little description.
Haven't we talked about this fellow's looks for like the past 20
Well, there's a lot more to talk about. Let me tell you that much. Such as his wings are used for flying because he's an expert flyer. You know,
Dude.
No way, dude.
That makes sense.
Thank you.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So
Show me the
according
proof.
to the description of the Rathalos in Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, they are terrible wyverns called kings of the skies. Along with Rathians, they stake wide territories centered around their nests. Rathalos descend on invaders from the sky, attacking with poison claws and breath of fire. What do you think of that?
That's kind of cool. That's kind of like an interesting, like, you know, if that's how they introduced me to like the grade 5 class, I think, you know, things would have gone a little more interesting, you know. But
Okay. And you know, he kind of looks like a dragon, right? So Monster Hunter uses wyvern. I don't even know if that was in what I just read. I don't think it was.
I can't. No, yeah, it's the second word in what you said.
Oh, good. Okay, great. Okay, wyvern is kind of like a catch-all term for most of the beasts that appear in these games, right? But I think in more expanded kind of folklore, that's also a term, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah,
Zach, do you have anything to
100%.
add to that?
I don't know the actual like background behind it. But a wyvern is like, I think it's similar to a dragon, but there's like distinguishing characteristics. It might have something to do with the amount of like legs they have. Where like a wyvern has arms that are also wings versus a dragon that has like 4 legs and then 2 wings in addition to that.
And I think that's also kind of true in here. Because it's not all the monsters. Because there's also fanged beasts, like the Congalala. That was in that one shorts we did. Brandon knows about the Congalala. Or Leviathans, which are kind of like sea wyverns and stuff. There's other things. Those are just off the top of my head. But a lot of them are wyverns, especially in World, which probably the bulk of players playing Monster Hunter, you know, have their experience with the series because it brought on a lot of players, right, relative to the size of the other stuff for a bunch of reasons that are probably not too fun. We don't need to get into something about more people playing 3DS in Japan and Japanese exclusive and whatever. Anyway, that's all something we don't
trying to bring in
about.
the like the social and like economic impact of like the effect on the Rathalos. Like, dude, what is this school? What's even going on, dude?
We can, but
have
we're
you
gonna be waffling
considered
for a horribly long time.
how this impacts the socio-economic climate of our of the era we live in?
Exactly. You know, this guy gets it.
Yeah. Anyway, fun fact about Rathalos is that they are all male. What do you think about that?
How
Where's the female one?
how does it work? Are they like
We'll
plants?
get to that.
Is it like it's
We're
like
gonna get down
meats
and
with like a
dirty.
different? It's like there could only be like a male source or something, you know, that sort of thing, and then
A
it's
male
just
what?
like a
Yeah,
source,
Zorse.
A what?
a source.
Zorse. A zebra horse.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, if you
I don't
said
actually
that
know
a
if that's
couple more
true, by the way.
times, I wouldn't have a brain left to record podcasts.
Zors.
Yeah.
Like when you look up how to pronounce those videos on YouTube, and it's just like the worst like quality from like 2008 or something, and it'll just repeat the word over and over, and sometimes it's wrong even after.
But yeah, there was a hint in what I read. Rathalos mate with Rathians,
Yeah.
which are another monster. They are known as the female counterpart. They are green. There are some other more distinguishing features, but we don't need to get into all of that because we're not going to center on them too much. But anyway, that's how they work. That's how the ecosystem works there. At least with how there's more, you know, little Rathalos and Rathians being. I couldn't figure out right away, Zach. Are they technically the same species?
I don't know. I always assume they were pretty much. They look nearly the same.
Yeah.
I haven't had like a close-up look at them, which I'm trying to do now. I'm looking at.
Yeah, because you could chalk up a lot of the differences, like the spike on the Rathian's chin, or or behavioral differences, like it being on the ground more often versus the Rathalos being in the sky. To I guess like sexual dimorphism, where like
Yeah.
there's different features that are exaggerated. But
Now, hang on a second. That word was far too big for me.
I looked it up again, but it's just about, we already described it, like baboons. I think it's the males that have the big red butts, right? You know, it's just different features being more prominent in the male versus the female for different reasons, I guess.
Yeah, I would
question.
suspect that that's pretty much the case. Like, if you showed me the two of them, I would say it's the same species, but it's just monster. Even the names imply, you know.
Yeah.
It's like Rathalos. It's like a him versus her type of scenario.
It's like the brown hippodon versus like the black one. It's like
yes, that's a great example from another one. Thank you, Brandon.
Put that on screen.
Except like the same species, I guess. Like the Rath,
exactly.
and the other one. You know, those are like different things.
Yeah,
I guess. I don't know. You know, it's like, how do we determine what the difference between like a species is, and like the difference between like a male and female variant is? You know, like I don't know. I didn't.
Thank you for using
I'm not like
that
the like British like some sort of like archaeologist who's like, this is the pith, and then just walks out. You know, I didn't tell him.
But thank you for using that word, because what I was gonna say, and now we can finally go on to a new slide. We'll get some fresh images in here. And in this image, you see 3 different Rathalos. And Brandon, do they look the same?
Corporate wants you to find the
yes
difference
or
between these
no?
They do not look the same in any capacity.
Thank you.
If I saw those things, it's like the difference between like a blue jay and like a
red jay.
Brandon, what's another word for blue?
And a white jay.
Brandon, what's another word for blue?
Thank
you. Oh, dude.
Oh my god, your mic peaked to an unbelievable degree.
That's right. Okay. So Monster Hunter treats species and stuff very, very carefully. You know, it there's new monsters that are introduced with the different entries and different DLCs, and whether they're called subspecies or variants, or there's some other words too. I guess kind of like Pokemon just did with like regional variants and convergent evolution and stuff. You know, they get a little bit. Anyway, there are different types of Rathalos. One being, which you can see there, is the Azure Rathalos. There's also the Silver Rathalos. There's also the Dread King Rathalos. I think those are the 3 I have pictured there. There's also Apex Rathalos and Zenith Rathalos and Flame Rathalos and Destruction Rathalos. It's been around since the first game, which came out 20 years ago. So there's bound to be a couple. It's a real sweetheart. It was the flagship monster of the first Monster Hunter. A flagship monster is like a box legendary for us, for the Pokemon heads out there, right?
The Poke heads?
For the Poke heads out there. Am I putting that in terms we can understand?
Brandon?
Yeah, you know, I think the explanation did help me understand.
Thank you.
It's gonna make you remember for the test.
Yeah, this will be on the test, and
exactly.
I will expect you to just kind of like recreate my random, like almost rambling, but like.
Exactly. So there's a couple different variants. That's what we want to get on. So Jesse, we talked a little bit about how they attack. Now, have you faced one of these things head on in the field?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
But I definitely wouldn't want to be face to face with one of these ghouls.
Yeah, and face to face is a bad place to be when it's a fire-breathing wyvern such as this.
Yeah. No.
Its element is fire. One of the things it drops is a flame sack.
That's terrifying. What's in the sack?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess lighter fluid and like a Minecraft flint and steel. Who's to say?
Just pure gasoline.
Yeah. But it's not just their face that's a problem, right? We talked about poison. So their element is fire. Whatever. That's important for people who want that to be important. We could kind of tell that. You're smart.
That's kind of neat.
Reaches through the screen. You knew that already.
But
something else here is that the talons upon their feet are highly poisonous and are known to inflict toxic mortal wounds on larger prey. So they got these poisonous talons too. So you're kind of dealing with a double threat there.
You're telling me this thing is this big and powerful and it's also poisonous? What next? They're going to tell me it flies?
I have some bad news for you, Brandon. I hope you're sitting down for this one.
That's actually pretty crazy. I wouldn't think to be worried by getting hit by this monster from his talons. Like
The
I'd
least
be
threatening
afraid
part
to
of the entire monster.
the least threatening part of the entire monster. Like my eyes dart towards the spikes, his beak, those big teeth, that club on his tail, those his claws, those are all key features I'd be looking to dodge. But his talon, like I wouldn't bat an eye,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought.
But if you've played the fight, and I know I've been there with Zach, when he gets up in the air and scratches at you and suddenly you got poison to deal with on top of your fourth degree burns, it's a bit of a nightmare.
Yep, it's not fun. Not fun to deal with.
It isn't. But that's one of the ways I guess you get trained as a hunter, to avoid that part and focus in other areas. So I really like that. I also
like the ear.
Brandon, I'm so excited. I'm so happy to be doing this podcast with you guys because you keep finding my little nuggets. You keep getting to the things I want to talk about.
What did you say?
The ear.
I'm so excited. I can't contain my excitement.
I couldn't tell if Andrew was being sarcastic for a second.
I'm not.
I thought he was doing it's like when the teacher's asking for group participation, and the one kid from the back was like, "Oh, I guess it's kind of cool." And he's like, "Yes, this is what we're looking for."
That's exactly. If it feels like that, I got to be in a classroom now.
Oh my God.
I don't even know which trail to go on. It's like that, that meme of the haunted house, and there's a sunshine path and a nightmare path. They're both great. Okay, the club tail exists. It's cool. It doesn't hit you with poison, even though it almost looks like it might make more sense with the talons. Why do the talons cause poison? I'm not sure exactly. For some monsters, it's like they're crushing berries and their hands are all goopy. I don't know what these guys' deal
I
is.
feel like that's a bit of a stretch. The goopy berries.
Well, I don't know. Anyway, we can talk about that another time. But if you have a theory better than mine, I didn't get to that part of the research.
Just making wine.
Yeah, he's stomping around.
It's the old fermented wine.
There, with the poison in the talons just allows the, it's like a flavor enhancer. What's it from? It's good.
Yeah. So he's already cut you, right? But it's like the old wine, so it's like vinegar in your wounds. You're like,
It's not. It's just pure ethanol or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's over, yeah.
But the ears, oh my goodness, Brandon, you don't know what beast you've just unleashed, okay?
What can of worms you've just cracked open.
Yeah, find one of the images to look at, and I want you to zoom in and look at those ears. Because if Brandon was just talking out his butt, he's about to be in for a world of surprise now. Tell me about these ears. What do you see about these ears?
It kind of looks like an elf, like sort of.
Thank you. Yes.
His ears are on his chin.
Yeah,
he got ears on his chin.
It's kind of the end of his
it's on the
jaw.
jaw. It's a little low.
Yeah.
Also, what is up with the top
jaw,
right
so,
image in this slide, Andrew? He's got a really solid jawline.
Yeah, exactly. He's clearly been viewing.
He's
practicing bone smashing.
Yeah.
Anyway, why does he look like? It looks like some sort of Zelda character kind of thing. The cartoony one. It's a bit weird. It looks like a slightly too humanoid compared to the other pictures. I don't like it.
Yeah. I see that. So the lore
looks
there.
like he's probably speaking like.
Looks like his name is Joe.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Joe who?
Hey, Peter.
Oh, okay.
It looks like some sort of just like some sort of NPC though, just speak to you with like a
with a quest.
like a Joe
He's got
from
a quest
Family
for
Guy
you.
type voice. Yeah.
Oh man, I love that. I set someone up for a devastating Joe Mama, but the moment's passed, so I get to live another day. I see exactly what you're saying with the elf ears. I like kind of humanoid, right? But they're pointed. I think they're kind of shockingly high def for the beast. It doesn't seem to fit on a dragon or something like that. So you'd almost imagine more of like an ear hole, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah. No, full on
adjacent to
ear.
a blowhole or something.
Yeah.
Trying to think
Blowhole.
Did you say,
But like,
did you say
think of like
adjacent
reptiles,
to a
right?
blowhole?
No, but like a lizard, they
dragon?
gotta have ear holes, right?
No, yeah, but I'm not. I'm commenting about the blowhole comment.
Well, they're both kind of holes, you know.
Okay, I see where you're going.
But yeah, so they made this decision, I guess,
caught
to
me
show
off
it as
guard.
better hearing. The shocking thing is, there's a lot of little tricks and techniques you can use in Monster Hunter. with different equipment. You can prep, whatever. There's flash bombs. We know about those to blind a monster. A Rathalos is susceptible to those. There are sonic bombs, which some monsters react to, right? There's like this burrowing Diablos thing that has these big bull horns that shoots out of the ground. And you can throw those sonic bombs to make it come out, because whatever. But the Rathalos has big ears, and it's not affected by these sonic bombs, which when I was reading through the different like ailments on the wiki, I was kind of surprised because they're so prominent. Someone decided. Also, you're right. It's weird that it has such a human feature. But when you look at the jaw, especially in the top right image, which is from Monster Hunter Stories.
So cursed.
Series there. Yeah, it's a little bit cursed. And I can see what you're saying. It's definitely less realistic. The other images are from World and Rise. I think bottom 2 World, top left Rise. In Stories, you have more of a connection to the monsters. You have Monsties. I said that right, Monsties.
Monsties the nuts.
Exactly. He's right on the money.
But yeah, they're like your friend. You ride them around. You're a rider in those games. And you can perform different skills, and you get different monsters. You can fly around on them, whatever. We'll talk about that a little bit more later. So maybe they tried to make them a little bit cuter. It definitely has a different art style, but in doing so, they might have accidentally made it a little bit too human with this Rathalos, if that's what someone was getting at. Unless I'm not.
Yeah.
Am I reading the room wrong?
Yeah, no, I'm kind of not vibing with how humanoid he looks. A bit too cartoony and humanoid. That combo, goodness me, that's not for me.
He's also, correct me if I'm wrong, it doesn't look too bad, but now that I stare at more like the top right image, he's got really forward-facing eyes too.
He does.
He has hunter eyes?
They really like turn this guy into like a human. Like they,
Yeah.
Like, what I probably think what they did was they wanted us to feel bad when we slaughtered him, and they tried making him look like as human as possible with the giant ears, the forward-facing eyes,
The massive wings,
the
club
crazy
tail.
like manly jaw. Like I think like they wanted us to feel bad when we
How
cut
would you
its head
react?
off.
Yeah, if you killed him and he just said, "My boy, what have you done? You've slain me."
Yeah.
Since you brought this up now, especially staring deep into the eyes of the Monster Hunter Stories one, I don't know. I so deeply associate that with, like, I don't know, Alduin or one of the, like, whatever the friendly dragon is there in Skyrim up on the mountain talking to you about lore. Yeah, Parthenax, yeah. I can't get that out of my head now. Oh, it's incredible. But they don't talk in Monster Hunter Stories. At least not as much as as far as I'm aware. And I played most of 2 and not the first one. But it's coming out this summer. Are you plugging that? We don't need to.
Top right image. You know what he looks like? He looks like Akinator. The genie who genie who like knows who you're talking about by like giving them hits. He looks like Akinator for some odd reason.
Let me look up an image.
I think it's just that they're like, maybe it's like in some photos they're like extra squared jaw, and it's just like very pronounced.
I think it's that. And like a bit the nose and the ears.
I think it's also the little spike on his chin looks like his little goatee.
Like goatee, yeah.
Yes, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Oh god. Yeah, I guess if they make a good Monster Hunter movie, they'll have to get like Patrick Warburton to voice this guy, right? You know, that's what you're getting on with Joe. And other things. He was in Seinfeld too. Anyway, give me a second to gather my thoughts here. Oh,
Andrew was taken out by the Akinator comment. That really
I was totally taking it out because Akinator sounds like a Cantor, which is another monster that wasn't in World.
Let's
Beautiful
go.
transition.
That was such a sweet segue.
Oh, thank you. So I was like, oh my god, Jesse's such a diehard Monster Hunter fan. He knows about this beast that like I haven't even fought in a mainline game yet because I don't even think it's in Generations Ultimate, you know.
Yeah.
But they had it in Monster Hunter Stories too, and it's like cool, and it also has like a pronounced like chin. Anyway, that's not what he was getting on about, but it's certainly Anyway, there's an Akinator, there's Agnactors, they're related. Don't worry about that. Another episode potentially, not right now, but. We see in these images 3 Rathalos and 3 different. Well, we see there's images of Rathalos, right? We can all agree on that, as divided as we are. The Rathalos inhabits several different habitats. Isn't that right? Zach, can you
Yeah,
Would you
that's true.
support me on that claim?
I would support you.
Yeah, from the Shrine Ruins and Rise.
Eyewitness.
Brandon's been there. To the Ancient Forest in World, as well as the Elder's Recess in World. At least some versions of him. So he's been in like volcanic, hot environments. He's been in lush, kind of jungly environments. There's many others, but I think part of that's that it's kind of like the darling of the series, right? If there's one monster that's synonymous with Monster Hunter, it is the Rathalos. When they're making anniversary PCs and gaming chairs, it's the Rathalos they're putting on them, you know?
They're making a body pillow for all the diehard fans. It's the Rathalos that's on it.
Exactly, all of that, you know. Well, that's not far off from the articulated, even though it's not articulated, you know, figurines that are now sold with jars. So, collector's jars that say Monster Hunter 20th anniversary, right, to protect it from dust and silt and other things, right?
You know,
yeah, exactly.
collectibles.
You know, so he's been in some different places. He has some experience going around, but they have tweaked what shows up where. You know, and that's where I think different subspecies and variants come in handy, right? Like the Azure one, you know, or the Silver one. I haven't found many of them. And then Dread King, you know, I don't have as much experience there. But they certainly exist. Expert flyers, we've discussed that, haven't we? Brandon's deepest fear.
Yeah, like you know, the man is especially if he's an expert flyer. Like you're telling me he could do like a high, I don't know what the G-force upward turn and not stall. That's crazy.
Yeah, oh, exactly. Yeah, I think we can safely say that the Rathalos would win all the GTA Online, you know, underbridge
battles,
challenges.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Those
exactly.
two, yeah.
Even the like going through the tunnel, like the underpass there, with like the cool music playing, and I think he could do it. I think he could do it.
He would do it upside down, first person, and not a scratch.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And like he would time it so that like the song on the radio was playing too. It's like you know, it's a
Lady, hear me tonight.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
My feelings.
Yeah. I don't want this to be like an ancient meme when it comes back out, but you know, it's time for you to find something that will love you back. And Rathalos is that something. I think we can all kind of agree. Isn't that true?
Yeah, sure. I'll
is
go
like a
with
reference to
you on
something.
Yeah, did know. Jesse, did you get that one? Tug's collar.
I think so. It rings
the house
a bell.
Music thing? How do we?
Yes. Oh yes. Clara Delving or something like that.
I'll give you the floor. And cut away some...
It's something like that. Yeah. Well, you'll play the clip.
It's about time you fell in love with something that will love you back. And that, my friends, is
Rathalos.
It doesn't judge you, and I won't either.
I got one more thing that might blow your mind about the ears. Okay? And that is that
They hear.
the Rathalos is a wyvern. They do hear.
No way.
I imagine they have hair cells as well, and potentially even a cochlea.
Nah, it's ruined for me. It's over.
What do you mean? Whatever, dude. You have those.
Yeah, but you know, when I see a larger than life creature, I would not like to imagine that it has ear hair. Okay, Andrew.
No, anyway, whatever. Somebody meant, dude. Any like auditory specialists or psychologists in the chat? That one was for you, actually. If you want more cochlea quips, hit me up at Monkey Business email. Anyway,
You said what now?
that's right. The cochlea, Cochlea, looks like a little nautilus shell. That's called a throwback.
Oh.
Ooh,
That's a zinger.
thank you. It has ears. It's a wyvern.
Say
In the
what now?
Monster Hunter series, there are wyverians. Okay, there's a joke in the Monster Hunter community. I can't find the origins of it, but I'll look it up now. That wyverians, which, look that up, like Hinoa or Minoto. Three of us will know those. Jesse,
Yeah.
I don't know if the handlers are wyverian. No, the ones in Monster Hunter World are like old weird mushroom people. But they're kind of like more like indigenous inhabitants, natives of.
I get this when I look up Wyverian.
Oh, we can't show that online. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. No, but the joke is that they lay eggs. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because they gift you eggs. I don't know. They're not quite human, but they are kind of elf-like. They're very Zelda adjacent. They have the long.
Wait, hold on. Who gifts you eggs? The ones in Monster Hunter Rise?
No, it's speculated
oh.
that the ones in Monster Hunter Rise lay eggs.
I don't think I can open that game again after learning that fact. I don't know what you're...
Which I don't know. It's not super far off anyway. But as mammals, our eggs don't. They're internal, right? Right. Chat.
Andrew, you're just digging yourself a bigger hole right now.
No,
You just have to imagine like everybody like shifting to one side of the room, staring at Andrew.
Oh my God. They don't know that I'm about to go on like a 20-minute rant about how humans also have eggs, but the eggs are internal, but nobody in this podcast has any eggs.
No, I don't think I've met a single person that knows as much about the cloaca as Andrew. It's almost like frightening, actually.
It's the things I do for this podcast. Someone's got to do it,
Yeah, it's true.
Thank you. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say about the ears. Is it like in talking about that connection with Monster Hunter stories, where there's riders and there's more of a kinship, right, between them. They use that all the time. They have kinship skills that are like these big fancy attacks at the end, that you can build up to. But maybe there's like more of a biological kinship. I'm not saying that Wyverians or humans are the same or compatible with this dragon. What I'm insinuating is that they have similar ears and it's got a human-like. I'm saying they got like the same ears. So maybe it's like
I don't like the
rats and we were
implication you're
fish.
making there.
What'd you say?
I don't like the implication you're making there. You're telling me that thing is.
I'm saying maybe they descended from a common ancestor.
Oh,
okay, that's a better option.
Okay, I
Thank
see.
you.
I see the implication. So, what's the dragon that mates with the Rathian?
You got it right.
Is it the Rathalos?
The
Rathalos.
The Rathian is the yeah.
I don't know if they have pronounced ears. Rathian ears.
So at some point,
I thought you were going the route of like what the centaur was.
Yeah, it's at some point in time. It's kind of like when a horse really loves a donkey, and they form. Oh no, wait. The donkey is the byproduct of a horse and a something else.
Or is
right?
it a mule?
A
is a
deer?
byproduct of a horse and a donkey. Might be a
Yes,
mule.
that's it.
A
That's
mule
it, yeah.
comes from a horse and a donkey. Yeah.
That's how it works in
That's
Minecraft,
it, yeah.
at least.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, it actually
So-
it does work like that in real life.
So somewhere down the line, there was a human involved in the creation of this animal.
See, that's what I thought.
That is what Andrew's trying to get to with this
That's
whole
not
ear
what
thing.
I'm saying.
I think he means that those like human-y looking ones came from that creature, and it's not that they look human; it's that we look like, or they look like.
We come from them.
Yeah,
Because there seems to be
I
a
thought,
And
This
Andrew
is
was
the
going.
whole. This is the whole point because they're the monkeys. They're the old age apes,
Exactly.
and we're the
There we
new
go,
age
yeah.
apes.
Yes.
Oh
Yeah, there we go. Yes.
This guy
my
gets it.
lord!
That's
this
in
is
different
this is
terms.
this could be my
That's right, I
great grandfather.
Exactly. I think.
Oh.
I thought Andrew was going with that too. Quite frankly, I thought he was like going like something like some sort of like centaur from like Greek mythology thing happened, and I wasn't down with that. But
No.
it's, that explanation's a little better.
Okay, I had
A
it
little
all
less,
upside
painful.
down, but I see how that connects now to the bigger motive, the bigger theme, the bigger story.
We got a little muddled. I think there were kind of three different interpretations of what we were thinking about here. I
I
think
got completely lost in
the
that entire-
strongest and simplest claim that I think is hinted at across the Monster Hunter series might be that there's a stronger connection between the Wyverians, which are very human looking for the most part, except for some that are like mushrooms or whatever, right, Zach?
Yeah.
You see them around the map. And
They're
the
fun.
monsters, probably because they're kind of, there is old and new world here, but they are probably closer to the monsters, meaning maybe a long time ago they descended from a similar species or something like that. I'm not saying there's crossover now or
Don't get too
anything
excited
between the
now.
species.
It's like
And
it's
the
like how
only
we
thing I
share
have
like
to claim off this is the ears and then some of the kinship discussion. And that meme that Wyverians lay eggs because Rathian also lay eggs, and you can pick them up and you steal them and use them as omelets in the games and stuff. And that's it. And I don't even know where that's from, but that's what we were getting on with there.
Okay,
Because
it's
the Rathalos
it's
is a
kind-
little bit more human than some other kind of dragons and monsters we talk about, right? And the ears are a really good
Okay.
indication of it. And his jawline.
well, it's kind of like how we share 50% of DNA with bananas, right?
Yes.
How much DNA do we share with the Rathalos?
Yeah, with the Rathalos, yeah. Or like, God, the Germinum or something, like that little rodent that it's like, this is your great grandmother, right? You know?
Mima.
Because all mammals descended from it.
There you go.
Right.
There you go. Wow.
Anyway, this is a little bit above our pay grade now, but we're allowed to speculate as much
more
as
you
anybody
know.
else. Are we not?
True. That's true.
Yeah, who's gonna stop us from speculating? I think
The
that
government.
3 times 12 is 36. Okay, who are you to
You're,
stop me from
you're
thinking that's the
totally
case?
right. You're totally right to believe that.
Yeah.
But that is your opinion.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah, I love that.
I actually did try to intentionally get that wrong, but I think anyway, it's okay.
He's just
Fred's
too
just-
good. He's
Fred's
just too
so
good.
locked into math that he can't.
See, it's like the thing where it's like no, I always do the wrong thing. If I do the opposite of what I do, then I'm right. So it's like I normally. My 12 times tables. Let me tell you, those aren't locked up here, okay? But like,
Yeah.
when I try to get it wrong, I guess sometimes I get it right. It just happens. What could I say?
Brandon's coming at
true.
us with the classic sitcom tropes. I love it. I love it so much.
That's George Costanza did that bit in Seinfeld.
Exactly,
Brent.
exactly. Brandon, what's the deal with the top button not being buttoned properly?
I beg your pardon. What are you
Talking
talking
about
dude? What are you
ears.
on about, dude?
Allow me to pivot back to a different
Go on, pivot.
type of yapping. Thank you.
Let's go back to
we
the
wanna
ears.
let's go back to the ears. Why not?
Like a real pivot, like a 1 foot pivot, like a beep test type of pivot. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. On slide 3, you can see
back
the
to-
Rathalos from Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. That's right.
What?
That's right. It was
Really?
the first representation of Monster Hunter in the Super Smash Brothers series.
Dude, it's like
No
a super
way.
HD kind of blurry image that probably like doesn't actually matter to the game. It's just one of those things you equip in like the story mode.
I was in both.
But that's kind of epic.
The top image is also.
Oh, he was
from
in the game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, wait, is that
Who's on
the map? It's that one map.
process.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
But that also shows
okay.
the ears really well. They look a little.
You
less-
corrected me. Okay.
Who corrected you?
You went through with all the facts, and now I know better.
Always learning and growing. God, we keep forgetting.
I
What
don't
did
know if I'm
Logan Paul say?
Who?
I don't remember.
Something permanent and mysterious lapse in my judgment.
Oh yeah, that's incredible.
I think he also said, "What's up, Low Gang?" or something like that. Anyway, so yeah, he was a boss in Smash Bros. Ultimate. In some of the
Logan Paul?
classic mode, I think. Yes, you could like slap
you
him as
could-
Ganondorf.
You could actually unlock him as a character if you beat the campaign, deleted your save file, did that like 5 more times, and then turned on your Switch. Turned on your Switch on April 1st, and jumped around, flipped it upside down 3 times.
Yeah,
You actually
real?
got to play.
Oh yeah, you should try it.
Oh my god.
But that's true. So he was in there. It was important. They also added like his armor. So I didn't put any pictures in here, but a good way to note some of the most prominent features of a Monster Hunter is to look at the armor, because often, not always, but often, either through the skills or the like defense stats, like what element it helps you with, it kind of portrays the characteristics of the monster. So you could consider that, especially because it's in the game. Again, they added Monster Hunter armor to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and it was Rathalos armor. That's right. That's the way it goes. Also, the fun variants also have different armor. For anybody who didn't know. I want to draw your attention to the icons I have on the left here. Those are the icons of the Rathalos from 3 different Monster Hunter games.
In like progressively lower resolution. Yeah.
Well, I wanted you to be able to see it, man.
Why is the first one like so beautifully HD, and then the others are like, you're watching like a compilation video of like the coolest like Call of Duty shots in like 2006, and it's like when I met you in the summer. Just like that's the type of quality that I see here with the blue background and like that white text.
Because
That's incredible.
the top, I don't know. My defense would be the top one is from World, which was available for much higher res things, and the other images are really small because, well, actually that's not true. Rise is now on PC, but it was on Switch for a long time exclusively before, and that's so Monster Hunter Rise's icon is bottom left, right? That's almost done kind of like calligraphy style. I don't know. You can see like hand Drawn? Zach, do you have a better way to describe that? Painted?
It's more like ink-like. Like there's
Yeah.
a certain flow to the line work.
Yeah. And then bottom right is from Generations Ultimate, and then the other one is World. And those are kind of more whatever. Anyway, what's really prominent... Now, they fit in squares too, right? It's not just wrapped up in a fetal position for no reason. It's kind of to make it compact. Unlike the big wing thing that we saw earlier. But if we're just looking at these images and what we've already discussed, what sticks out to you? What are like the things that jump out at you when you see Rathalos, when you think Rathalos?
The ear.
Well, we've spent a long time talking about the ear. I would actually argue...
Very, without trolling with the ear, very jagged. You know what?
Yeah.
Top one especially, every single side of him has spikes on it. Like on that
That's a lot of
square.
scales.
It must be difficult for him to let people in. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
I suppose. We can go with that.
I think his spikes don't get a lot of love because he has them all over, but they don't. There are some other monsters that deal.
There's
more
also
damage.
there's also no girl Rathaloses, right? So
Rathaloses,
he's going to have insecurities when it comes to that,
It's true.
Especially about his
when
ear.
it comes to opening up,
Yeah, the ear especially is pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's like that trend that went around, and it's like, did you see my biggest insecurity? And then everybody's like pointing and laughing at the Rathalos ear. And I would comfortably.
I would give him a hug.
Oh,
Yeah,
I like
I would
Because I think he needs it. I think you need
need to choose the right angle to go in from without getting impaled.
That's true.
You
I
know what
wouldn't
they
want to
say?
touch his thigh. Not his thigh. His calf. His thigh. His calf.
But you know that old adage, heavy is the head that wears the crown. Well, the Rathalos is king of the skies. So it could probably get a little lonely. And maybe there's
Telling
some
me
more
the
ones in
Rathalos has higher pedigree than the bald eagle? Come on, man. Wow.
Brandon, you did it again! Oh my god, I'm so excited. I was just going to wrap up the ear thing, but that can wait.
You're going to do like 2 more of these and Andrew's just going to die in his chair.
The Rathalos, there's a lot of similarities in behavior too. Like a bird of prey, like an eagle, especially in the early games. Monster Hunter has always been focused on creating an ecosystem, right? People talk about the world of Monster Hunter existing without the player, with the hunter, right? You can see it even more in some of the newer titles where, they can have a little bit more going on in the map. But like in World, there's a pecking order, there's a food chain. The Rathalos eats some of oh god, you saw like the Anjanath like picking up and throwing around the great Jagras, and then there's little Jagras running around, and there's the Rathalos will pick up there's too many words now. Some of the bigger monsters eat some of the medium monsters, which eat some of the smaller monsters that are herbivores that eat some of the grass,
Yo, he just described the food chain.
Thank you. Thank you. I did. But he has these talents. He'll pick up his prey. They talked about injecting him with the toxic type of thing. And the way it soars through the sky. It has really keen eyes. There's an animation in the first game, which was for like the PlayStation 1 or 2, right? I don't know. 20 years ago, what PlayStation was it?
They didn't have the PlayStation yet. That's fake news, by the way.
PlayStation 2. That's right. Monster Hunter originally came out on the PlayStation 2. But it was dealing with some other monsters we don't know so well. Part of the drome family, the Velocidromes. Again, not super important for these guys, but if you're a Monster Hunter fan, you know. And just something about that is very kind of bird of prey-like. It is a predator in its environment, like the ancient forest. It is the apex predator, so it fits into that. But even though it's this big, scaly dragon, something that people, myself included, praise Monster Hunter, the Monster Hunter Series 4, is making these monsters kind of animalistic, right? Just like we're doing with this podcast, with some of these beasts, we can say, well, what inspired it? How did people come up with this? And it's never just out of nowhere, right? Based
who
on parts
them
of the
to
natural
cook?
environment. Yeah, who let them cook? Well, everything that's cooked comes from ingredients. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's a very deep,
Thank you.
very deep sentiment.
So if you can sniff out those ingredients, then you're a little smarter than the average bear, I guess. But yeah, so for you to say eagle, I think that connection has been made before. Even though he doesn't look anything like a bald eagle, not even a little, much scarier. You know, doesn't even look much like a pterodactyl.
He don't got no hair, so he's kind of like bald.
That's true. That's true. He does have hair though. The Rathian has like this armpit hair. We didn't get into that. I don't know if the Rathalos has some. None I can pick up on right here. We went through the wings. We went through the face. We went through the ear. What I was trying to say before was, I can pretty comfortably say that we have probably discussed the Rathalos' ear for longer and in more depth than potentially anybody else on the planet.
At least any other podcast on this.
Yeah, at least any other podcast is right. The last type of Rathalos I want to jump into before I guess we wrap up in our little closing remarks here is the Raisewing Ratha, which I have on slide 6. So in Monster Hunter Stories 2, this is your, I guess it would be like a partner Pokemon, like partner Monstie. I don't think they call it that. I could be wrong. It has the wings of ruin. It's this, Raisewing, and that's why it has this bluish kind of evilly wing. They end up kind of breaking off. Things happen. As like a spoiler alert, I'm not going to get into too much detail. Definitely not because I don't remember exactly what happened. But he can later fly around, but for the first bunch of the game, he can't. And then you can also see in the below the monster rider riding the monster, you can see the Rathalos' chest. He has some kind of, marks there, scars there, right? Is there anything that... How do these images make you feel? As I'm holding up an ink blot.
The chest scar, maybe he got it during some sort of epic confrontation, Maybe, he was attempting to, save his brother or something. And then, he got hit in the chest with some sort of, attack of some sort. And, it scarred him permanently.
He was putting on a shirt, but then he forgot to take out the bobby pin. And then it's over.
That's also possible. Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
I think that shut Andrew's brain off for a split second.
Yeah. Well, I got so excited. I think Brandon's right. Can't have too many of those exciting moments. It's so over.
It becomes overwhelming.
In the lore, Ratha is a special Rathalos. This is about the Raisewing Ratha. That is known as the Wings of Ruin, where a beat of its wings can bring forth waves of destruction and burn the world. That's kind of like Brandon after Chipotle.
That sounds like a bit of an exaggeration.
Brandon's never had Chipotle. I don't think. Have you had Chipotle?
You know what? You know what I did recently, actually.
What?
Okay, I did, yeah.
Did your Chipotle bring forth waves of destruction and burn the world?
No, not really. It was mild. Now let's make medium spice. It wasn't that spicy. It's
Brand, I'm curious. How would you rate Chipotle? Because I went there recently. Wasn't that impressed, honestly.
No, I it's you go there, you build your own little bowl of thing, right? And I think I chose a pretty good bowl. It was pretty tasty. I had it with another mutual friend. It was pretty good. It's pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Fair.
Nice.
It's in terms of fast food, kind of build your own stuff.
Yeah.
It's I tasted it. I was hey, it's pretty good. I got a Caesar salad did I get a Caesar? No, I might not have. I got something. That's all I can tell you. It tastes pretty good though.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I dig that. You know what? I bet when you opened this podcast, you didn't think you'd get a little Chipotle review, but now you have. Yeah, how's that for quality?
Chipotle truly is a rarity.
That's the type
for
of
us,
stuff we bring to the podcasting.
Yeah, exactly.
We're coming from a different perspective. We're not quite like a European. It's oh my gosh, what is I've never been to I don't insert the most normal thing.
What is a highway car dependent society?
Yeah, exactly. It's not quite like that, but it's Chipotle, it's kind of like a novelty. It's kind of it's not something you experience very often. So it's sort of a cool way to get fast food, an American kind of like Mexican fusion style. That's kind of cool and interesting. And it's
it's definitely a novelty. It's definitely a novelty because we have to go 2 or 3 hours to be able to get to one.
To get to the closest one. Oh yeah.
To get to the closest one, yeah. But Chipotle, it's I think they definitely revolutionized the fast food scene. I think I think Subway paved the way, but Chipotle really perfected it. And then they went and gave a bunch of people food poisoning. So
that's true.
really,
You know,
they
what I
really
would
did a
say
splendid
is-
job.
I think if you fed a Rathian an extra spicy Chipotle bowl, I think that'd be it. I think, you know what? That would
I
probably
think
do
that
it.
would just insta kill him.
It's like the thing of like if you fed a peasant like Sprite or something from like the
Yeah,
1300s.
or a
that'd be-
Dorito,
it'd be over for him.
Dorito.
Or like a Dorito,
Yeah.
yeah, it'd be over for him. Or at the same
Dorito
time,
with
if you
like
fed
23
us
spices
like,
on it.
like an average like peasant meal or something with like seawater in the wine or whatever that the Romans used to do, I think we would also like vomit and start convulsing. I don't think we'd be prepared for that either.
Well, bread, right? Back in the day, it
hard
used
as
to
a
be
rock.
like 60 or 70% grain, like la farine, flour.
Yeah.
And the rest of it would be like cement powder or something like that because there were no regulations. There were no regulations, and to cut costs, they just fill it with
I don't know,
a
there's,
bunch of doohickey stuff. So
There we go.
we
Couple
would
of
not
nuts and
last.
bolts.
You know,
We
I don't
put a
think
couple of nuts.
I don't think
I
they
like
would
the
have been able
crunch in
to
this. Is
fathom
this,
the quality of our
paprika?
old of our garlic bread and stuff like that. I think that would have been like an absolute delight, absolute treat for a president. I think even maybe a Rathian would appreciate a nice piece of garlic bread. Maybe they'd stop being so mad.
We take garlic bread for granted. We take garlic bread for granted. Say
granted.
that fast
We
3
do.
times.
We take
That
Brandon
was-
for granted.
We do. Yeah, that too.
Take garlic bread for Brandon.
This was phenomenal. I was gonna make a joke about us pivoting to a food podcast, but Brandon so skillfully tied it back
He
to
nailed
the
it
monster.
again.
Yeah.
I can't even say that.
I
Maybe
just imagined,
instead,
like there's like a meter of like Andrew starting to like shake in his chair, and like by me just mentioning Rathian, it like resets the meter, and he starts like smiling again, and progressively goes like 7.
yeah, instead of like the emoji, like in like black and white, like a Xerox of a Xerox.
Yeah.
But maybe instead, as a bonus content someday, once we've accrued enough monsters, we could pair each monster with a type of cheese. Or a type of a wine or something, like a pairing that people do that.
Like what we'd think would go well with, or like
what
the
their
type
favorite
of cheese
food
that like
is.
invokes the vibe of the monster.
I think the second one is much better. Like
Not like if
I
I
see
were
a
to
rat.
chop up this large monster, I think it would go red.
Oh my god!
Nice with
Well,
a
that
red
too.
wine.
You eat him in the game. Maybe we could do that. But otherwise, we'd be looking at the Rathalos and saying, this guy, he breathes a bit of fire. I like his vibe. I'm kind of getting it's kind of giving smoked Gouda. We could be
I
in one
have
of
to
those
learn about more
positions.
than like the 3 types of cheeses I know. So that would have to be some practice.
And we don't need to flex them now, but let me tell you, I'd blow your mind with the amount of cheeses I know.
Andrew's
Don't eat 'em all the time, though.
seen his
Andrew's a cheese connoisseur.
yeah, Andrew's worked his way around the charcuterie board or two.
Exactly. Oh, thank
He
you.
even has those like nice wooden like slab ones with like a little bit of not
wow.
acrylic, but it's like filled in with some sort of like polyurethane.
Oh, resin. Like a
resin.
resin,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
a resin filled one.
There's
And there's like little colors on the inside.
river.
Yeah, there we
It's
go.
like a little resin river going through the wood.
Exactly, 100%.
Oh.
Yeah, love that vibe. That's what a
Absolutely.
charcuterie board is meant to be.
Absolutely. It's not just a plate. It's not just cutlery. It's an art form. It's a way to
Exactly.
express the aesthetic of your abode to your guests.
Absolutely, 100%. It's really important. Part of what allows you to enjoy the meal more is you see a nice charcuterie board, like wow, I have to finish all this cheese to be able to appreciate the board
To see the
underneath.
design beneath it.
Exactly. It's like
exactly.
it's like getting to like the center of some sort of like a treat, or whatever, where like it's like getting to the
There you
center
go.
of Tootsie Pops or whatever, or like
how many
getting
licks
to
does it take to get to the center?
exactly.
Oh my God.
I think that's the vibe we're going for here.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
I
is.
think
Damn,
that's the beauty of the multi-layer beauty of a well-designed charcuterie board.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And I think what we've done here today would make Alfred P. Charcuterie very proud. Very proud. I think if he were alive today, he would have loved Rathalos. He just would have, or 20 years
he
ago.
would've.
But I think it's time we put this beast to bed, as it were. Which is also what I say when I put my
Put it out to
4-year-old
pasture.
son to. Oh God, no! I don't say. We went in different directions there. Congratulations to Monster Hunter on his 20th anniversary. I'm a fairly recent fan. I'm so happy that I've been able to share some hunting experience with all 3 of you and others. And this is the Rathalos, man. This is Monster Hunter in a nutshell. This is not the first Monster Hunter monster that will grace this podcast. And
Certainly not the last.
certainly not the last. Yeah. Any final thoughts on the Rathalos? Anyone?
That's kind of cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd go out for a
kind
beer
of cool
with him.
critter. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Rathalos would enjoy like a nice Belgian ale. Okay, I think he'd be a nice fella to have one of those with.
He's already
Really?
working on the
I-
pairing.
He's more of an IPA guy to me.
You know what?
Ranking Monster Hunter monsters by what type of beer they'd be.
Exactly. This is what we're talking about.
God, dude.
Oh, that could be fun and ridiculous. The gears in my head are already turning. I do hate to say, but yeah, monster number 7, episode
Society.
number 7.
Oh,
Oh no, this is 7. This is 7.
Society.
Dude.
number
That'll be the
7.
last one. That'll be I don't know, the first one to pass.
the
We're at their
monster was
funeral live
us all along,
podcast.
and then Andrew just starts screaming into the mic for an hour and 25 minutes.
Frankenstein was the monster. No.
He's spitting. Well, Frankenstein probably was because he was the doctor.
Like,
Jesse,
like
I know
a-
you didn't
like a
make that
llama.
mistake. Jesse, I know you didn't make that mistake, dude. Jesse, come on!
I was joshing.
No,
I was
he was making a
joshing.
meta commentary about that
Oh,
Frankenstein.
okay,
Dr.
yeah.
Frankenstein is the true monster, and Frankenstein's
There you
monster
go.
was a victim in this
There
you go.
event by
I got it
having
wrong.
been
I
reborn.
was commenting on society's blunder of
dude.
constantly making that mistake, even to this day.
Exactly.
That's great.
Yeah, he gets it. Yeah.
And I totally wholeheartedly agree, and I will remove any evidence elsewhere.
Yeah, Andrew can't be caught misunderstanding a conversation. Okay, it happens enough in real life, so we need
Imagine
all
on the
evidence of that
podcast.
removed. Imagine on a podcast. Oh no, that'd be there forever. People could refer back to that, and then he'll be like sipping
that.
tea
Don't clip
in
it.
like
Don't clip it.
like a fancy kind of like Egyptian cafe, and then someone will be like, "Hey, aren't you the guy that like misunderstood?" And then that's it. Teacup drops. He starts vomiting, and that's it. It's over.
And you know
He'll
what?
be on debate team from like 20 years from now, and somebody's
Yeah.
gonna pull this clip back up, and they're
Oh, no.
they're just gonna be like,
Yeah.
Andrew, we can't have you misinterpreting.
He's
Oh,
gonna,
no.
he's gonna start sweating.
It's
He's gonna like
over.
fall. He's gonna like hit his head on the podium. The mic's gonna wee, like make the loud noise from like the feedback, and that'll be it.
My only response is that I don't think I've ever met misunderstanding.
Ooh.
Anyway, I think we're gonna end it
Bring
there.
me your number.
Thanks for joining us on the Monstrous Musings podcast. We discussed the Rathalos. There's
And a
more
bit of the
I
Rathian.
to muse about. What'd you
I
say?
said, and a bit of the
And we also
Rathian.
discussed like charcuterie boards, and we also
And a bit of
discussed
the
like a
Rathian.
couple other things.
Yeah.
Chipotle.
Yeah,
Anatomy
exactly.
of an ear.
And I think the four of us have failed to beat the ear fetish allegations. I hate to say.
I think
Or
the day's ruined. I think it's
the,
over.
the flip side of that is maybe we're now ear specialists. That's a better way to look at it.
That's true.
That's a lot
We are
better
experts
way
in
to
our
look
own
at
field of
Ears.
the ear.
it. The ears, yeah, exactly,
ears.
exactly.
The years go by and they keep going by.
Thanks for joining us. New episodes of the Monstrous Musing Podcast in less than 6 months, I promise.
What?
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.